everyone, and welcome to a new sewing tutorial with Berta. Today we are going to sew your very own DIY t-shirt. And don't worry, with our easy step-by-step directions, you won't have any trouble putting together this lovely, customized t-shirt. So let's get on with the video to learn how. First, begin by taking measurements of your bust. Make sure that your measuring tape goes along the part of your bust that is the most ample. You can find the different bust sizes in the pattern instructions. Our Berta measurement chart will help you find the size that best fits you. You will see that each size comes with the size's various other measurements. Once you found your size, you can cut your pattern pieces along the lines that correspond to it. The cutting layout shows the best way to place your pattern pieces on the fabric you're working with. Most of the time, the fabric is folded right sides together. For this model, we have selected a gorgeous fabric from Pauli's current collection. Make sure it goes with the grain line. Now, draw a seam allowance of 1.5 centimeters along the entire outline of your pattern. Cut along these lines. In the next step, you will have to trace all the markings and seam lines on the wrong side of the fabric. The paper pattern templates should stay pinned onto your pieces when you are doing this. Here we are using Berta carbon paper and a Prym rotary cutter to do the job. Now we can start. Unpin the paper pattern pieces from the fabric. Place the front piece on the back piece, right sides facing, and pin them together so the sides match up. After this, fold the sleeve lengthwise so that the right side of the fabric faces inwards, and then pin this together so the seam lines match up. You can now sew the sides of the top. After this, sew the sleeves together. Backstitch the ends of your stitching to secure them in place. Now neaten the seam allowances with a zigzag stitch, or if your sewing machine has it, an overlock stitch. For lightweight fabrics, sew a few millimeters from the edge and then trim the excess with a pair of Prym sewing scissors. This will create a nice, clean edge. After this, press the sleeve seams to the side and press the side seams open. Place the sleeves right sides facing into the armhole so that the side seam, the sleeve seam, and the sleeve and front seam marking 4 match. Now, pin the sleeve. After this, stitch the seam allowances one on top of the other. Now neaten the seam allowances together. To do this, use a zigzag stitch in the middle of the seam allowance. Now you can cut the allowances at the edge. Press the allowance into the sleeve. Fold the neckline piece in half, right sides facing. Now mark the length and the width edges at the middle. Stitch the width edges together until you get to the pin, and backstitch the edges of the stitching to secure it together. press the seam allowances open. Turn this t-shirt right side in and then fold the neckline piece in half lengthwise, wrong sides together. Pin the unfolded edge of the neckline piece to the neckline of the t-shirt. The seam opening is located in the middle and at the top of the back piece. Stitch the neckline piece and then neaten the end with a zigzag stitch like you did with the sleeves. Now cut the elastic band according to your size and use a safety pin to pull this through the neckline piece. Sew the edges together by hand and then close the seam opening with a few stitches by hand. Neaten the seam allowances along the sleeve ends, at the bust, and along the sides. Fold the seam allowances at 1.5 centimeters. Now stitch the edges of the right side with 1 centimeter from the edge. To make sure you have a nice even hem, feel free to use the Prym seam guide. And now your first t-shirt is finished. You should be proud of what you've accomplished. We hope you've enjoyed our sewing tutorial and that you are ready to test these tips again. Subscribe to our channel to guarantee you never miss another video. This video was made with the wonderful help of our partners Pauli, Pfaff, Prym, Gütermann, and Schmetz. Like always, all the products used in this video can be found in our info box. Happy sewing and see you next time!